Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, we'll do this. Kathy's already here. Hello, Kathy. Boom. Happy Thursday. How are you? And Mick is here. Hey, Mick. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you didn't have to work tonight. Okay. I have a confession. I've been laying up on the couch today. I just got off the couch. Uh, I've been editing a video all day. It took all day. You know how that is? You like, I want to do something. It's going to be fun. And then the inner critic's like, rah, 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 and then it takes all day to do it. Doesn't matter if it's video or not. You know what I'm talking about? Just trying to do something different. And anyways, the video's done. I'm going to post it later. It's a real quick. It took me all day and it's only like 2 minutes long. That doesn't make any sense at all. And it's got a recipe to it that I'm trying to upload to my website. Um, but my website is telling me that they've made changes on the backside, and their changes have affected some of the other stuff on my website. So now I've got to update my website in web ways that I'm not familiar with, um, geeky web ways. And so I've just spent like the last couple hours trying to understand geek speak, and and they're throwing, and I don't really know what I'm doing. And so I was gonna just throw the recipe up there. It was gonna be like make the video, and then I've already got the recipe written. I was gonna lob it up to the website, like I usually do, like I've done for all these years. And now Shopify's like, no, we're updating stuff. Now you've got to go to all the stuff that connect to your website, and you got to make sure that all their stuff is up to date with what we've done, so we'll all get along. And I'm like, what? And oh, you need to have a degree in web development geek speak in order to know what's going on. Uh, so I'm a little fried. I'm a little fried. Uh, Thankfully, at some point today, I did something fun and creative and daring that had to do with bread. Mixed like what? Mixed like what? What? Um, okay. Yesterday I made I made a batch of white bread, just plain yeast, granular yeast white bread, and made a batch of that. It's a artisan bread in 5 minutes a day recipe. Cannot claim anything to it. Um, Made a batch of that. It made 2 loaves. Made one yesterday. We inhaled it. I made a potato soup last night. I did not write it down, and I should have. I made a really good vegetable soup last night, and it was kind of on the brothy side. And so I was nervous that it was going to not be filling enough, even though it had like potatoes and carrots and peas in it, and it had the bottom of the soy curl dust, not even like chunks of soy curls. It was just soy curl dust. So I told the family, I was like, okay, this is trying to be a chicken vegetable soup, you know, and but it was heavy on the brothy side. So last night's white bread, we got the idea to cube it up, and we made like these really big chunky cubes. And instead of trying to make croutons out of the cubed bread, gosh, this smells good, we just threw it in the soup. And it was so good because the big chunky bread that was just like big enough to, fill a cheek, it soaked up the broth, and the broth was good. The flavors were great, spot on. The bread is just plant-based buttery. And so it just soaked up this broth and became its own bite. And it was different than any other, like, it was better than trying to do a crouton from a store-bought loaf of bread or even a bakery purchased loaf of bread. Way better than that. Way better. It the cube bread, I think it was because it was homemade and the density of the bread was so good and so not thick, and it was good. Like it was just artisan bread good, quality good. It became like its own bite in the soup. It didn't fall apart. It held it held real well, and we all went back for seconds. And we made sure that we cut off like an inch thick slab of bread, cubing it up and then putting it in our soup. It was so good. It changed, we all agreed, it changed the way we are going to eat soup when there's fresh baked bread on hand. It was really good. So I'm going to share that with you because, Mick, I know you're making bread, and if there's anybody else here who's making their own bread, um, try it. Just try it. Make an extra brothy soup, have some dense bread, and just try throwing the bread in there and see what you get. Oh, Lynn is here. Hello, Lynn. She's finally made it. Elaine is here. Hello, Elaine. Yeah, it is cold. Oh my gosh. Uh, Diane's here. She says, I haven't been daring with breads, but started making my own tortillas, bagels, and English muffins. Today I made burger buns. What? Hold on a minute, Diane. Hold on. Today I made burger buns to go with my soy curls, sloppy joes. Oh my Lord. Diane, we are on the same frequency. Penny says she has a meeting at 7, so she won't be able to stay on the whole time. That's okay. Thank you for being here, Penny. Thank you for running by. Debbie's here. Oh, she says your wiggle wiggle on Instagram was so funny. Thank you. I got that bread out. If y'all don't know, okay, I posted some bread pictures on Instagram this week. I was trying to wake my Instagram back up, and anyway, so I baked a loaf of bread, just white bread, and I forgot about it rising on the counter, and so it kind of had already kind of rose, and then it was starting to deflate, and it looked, when I touched it, it had this wiggle to it that was just like jello. It wiggled like jello, and the first song that came to my mind was that I always credit Snoop Dogg, but there's another artist on there, but it's that song Wiggle Wiggle, boo boo boo, wiggle wiggle. Anyways, it's funny. I timed the wiggle to the song and then posted it on Instagram. I tried to get it over on YouTube for a short, but I have to rework it to make it happen. But if you're connected to me on Instagram, you can go see it. It's funny. Jill's here. I've been making homemade bread lately. Yes, and Darjeeling has made it. Hey, Darjeeling. Thank you. Thank you, Jill. Thank you. I'm glad y'all are here. It's cold. It's cold here in Texas. I think it's getting ready to drop back down under 30. We've got really chilly weather, and we are trying to keep the house warm and keep the water flowing through the pipes. That's our challenge. Texas, we are houses in Texas are just not prepared for long spells of cold at all. So when it's cold weather like this and it's going to be like in the 20s day after day after day, we are just doing everything, leaving the faucets dripping and trying to leave the cabinets open and keeping the heater going, and we just go, just try to stay warm. Okay. Um okay, so here's what I'm doing. Oh, hold on, Diane. Okay, this is spooky. Okay, so um, Diane, listen up. This is what I did. Okay, so I made back to the. I made artisan bread in 5 minutes a day, American white bread recipe, and from that recipe, I can get 2 loaves of bread that will fill an 8x4 loaf pan, you know, like a banana bread pan. And today's bread, oh, this is today's bread. I've already cut into it. It makes a beautiful loaf of bread. This stuff is nice and springy. Look at the crust. This is better than art. I wouldn't call this like artisan bread or peasant loaf or anything like that. This is bread, like bread you'd want to make a sandwich out of. It's really tender. It's got a great chew. The crust stays thin all the way around. This is soft. It doesn't have that crisp uh, crackle now because it's been sitting out, but when it does come right out of the oven, it does have a little bit of crisp crunch to it. And then as it cools down and the moisture cools off the crust, it gets all soft again. But it's really easy. I get a very clean cut on this bread. It's a great recipe. This is the bread that we were putting in our soup last night. It was delicious. So I made a second loaf today. That was the second loaf. And then I made a batch of sourdough bread. Let's see. And I got the idea. Let me see if I can't add this. Hold on, let's see. Let me add this video. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. Can I do it? Right here. Right here. Let me add this. Done. Check this out. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me edit that. It's going to play the audio, and I don't want it to play the audio. Where's the audio part? There it is. Turn that off. Okay, check this out. Okay, so today I practiced making hamburger buns. What? See, Diane, we were in the same world. So there's the AB and 5 loaf of bread. This is what I just showed you, sitting on the counter right now. Oh, it's so good. I used a pair of scissors to snip into that today. And this sourdough bread, this is enough sourdough that would fill like a casserole, like a half, not a whole half sheet pan, but half of a half sheet pan. So I cut my huge focaccia recipe in half and used it to make all these rolls. And this was fun. That was fun. And what I practiced with that was like I made that dough yesterday. It sat in the fridge. I pulled it out and then dropped it on the counter here, shook some flour on the counter, and then pressed it out, um, rolled it out, and it was like it was in such a good mood. I could tell when I was rolling it that it was going to be very cooperative. And so I decided that while it was so pliable, I would just go ahead and cut it up and play with it. And I practiced the technique of um, taking the dough and like, I'm going to show you here. Um, like pretend there's some dough in my hand. The dough had this stickiness to it, and I was practicing cupping the dough, and there was let's see, how much did I cut? I cut about 3 ounces of dough per ball, and I just used the friction of the counter to pull the dough under itself. So as I rolled the dough, the dough would pull and it would pull under itself, and then I would was rolling the dough like in count. I was rolling it clockwise and then rolling it clockwise like this. So I was rolling clockwise and then I was rolling around clockwise, and this motion, just very gently, was taking the dough and it was like causing it to pull around and get tighter and even until it was one smooth ball. And I was being mindful of not pressing down into the dough ball, but just using the cup of my hand to maintain a shape and kind of cage the dough under my fingers, but letting motion the motion of the dough rotating on the counter and spinning in these two ways to be um, to do all the work of stretching the dough into a ball. Does that make sense? I wish I'd filmed it, but I was just in the mojo and trying to experience it for the first time. So, I can't say I'm an expert, but then I put that on the sheet. I put it on some parchment paper, put it on a perforated pizza pan, and um, then I stuck it in a 450-degree oven, and I'll say for 26 minutes. I gave them all a spritz of water before I popped them in to the oven, just like I do the bread dough. I'm learning to spritz the dough with water, and then right before I close the door, I spritz the oven, which I have a little, um, and I do that like 5 or 6 times. So I'm immediately just spritzing hot, what would be the steam into the oven. Then I close the door and I set the timer, and that's enough steam right there, spritzing the bread and spritzing the oven. That makes enough moisture to keep everything soft, and everything plumps up just fine, like it's supposed to. So that's cool. So there's no need for an ice cube. I haven't been doing any kind of ice cube stuff. I'm not keeping a bowl of water, hot water at the bottom of the oven. I don't need to do any of that. The spray bottle is working perfectly. So these are my hamburger buns. I was able to get 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 hamburger buns with 1/2 recipe, or with half of a focaccia recipe. Um, so I was tickled about that, and they're huge. One of these is cut in half. 26 minutes is definitely a little too long, so I'll have to bake these again and see what the perfect timing is. But look, after they cool down, I used a serrated knife, just a regular bread knife, and I cut into these babies when they were cooled down. And look at that. That is a perfect texture. This is sourdough bread, but it doesn't have that big holy sourdough uh, structure. I'm not going for that. We're just going for flavor here. I've given up trying to. Uh, I'm not going to pursue that mega holy texture of sourdough that seems to be so fashionable online. I don't know how that's achieved. I'm not getting those results. I'm getting these results. These are like really beautiful. I'm consistently getting this wonderful smelling, soft, perfectly textured bread that I can make into sandwiches and shove in my face. And I'm pretty happy with this. So I there you go. That's it. So just a little bit of my own brain um, freaking out on itself. But anyways, these hamburger buns turned out really well. I was tickled. I was so tickled that the consistency is there, and I'll make another batch. I need to make another batch of sourdough bread, of sourdough, and then I'm going to try again. And these are whole wheat. Wow. I made these with half whole wheat, half all-purpose flour. Um, and they turned out real well. So they're not super weedy, but there's enough wheat in there. So those are just beautiful. And I'm going to leave them closed like this, and I'm just going to let the family cut into it and turn them into sandwiches or hamburger buns, sandwich bread or hamburger buns as we want to eat them. So that's the thought there. But that was fun. I'm tickled with the way that worked out. Lynn says, I remember when you taught us to make the bread with the pan of water in the bottom of the oven years ago. Yeah, that was the artisan bread in 5 minutes a day days. And that works. That works. It really does. I'm not dissing on that at all. I'm just tickled that I can use, where's my bottle? Right here. I'm just tickled that I've got this spray bottle that has a really good mist to it. It has a this I used it for art, but this spray bottle makes a really nice large mist, spray mist, very even. It doesn't do the stream, it just does a mist spray. And so when I'm hitting the dough, when I hit the dough with this mister, it's really nice and even. And I've usually already put salt on top of the bread. And so I'm not worried because the water is so fine. I'm not really worried about moving the, like pushing the salt topping that I've put on the bread. I'm not worried about it washing away or washing off to the side because this is such a good mister. So it's working out so well, and it works so well to spray across the oven. It's like instant steam. So I don't need to mess with all that other stuff. I'm tickled I found an alternative. Okay, I'm gonna put this away. So tonight's dinner for myself, Charlie is out. He's got something going on. Max just came in, and he knows. Um, he just came in, so he'll be hungry here in just a little bit. So I'm thinking since I've got these sourdough buns, I want to make some barbecue. So I'm going, but I'm not going to do soy curls because I'm out of soy curls. I do not have any soy curls. They come tomorrow or something. I don't know when they're going to come, but they haven't come yet. But I do have this beautiful purple cabbage, and I got a little bit of red onion, just the last of this sad thing. And I've got a fresh bottle of my favorite barbecue sauce, Kinder's Barbecue, mild barbecue. This is good. It's got a little tinge of sweet, but it's not super sweet, but I just love the flavor of that barbecue sauce. I keep this on hand when I don't feel like making my own sauce. So, so I'm going to make barbecue sandwiches out of this, and I just threw the oven is hot, and I've got some onion rings that I bought from the grocery store. They're just regular onion rings. They're not any particular brand. It's my grocery store's knockoff brand of onion rings. So I've got those on a half sheet pan, and I'm going to go ahead and throw those in the oven right now because they need, I'm going to put them on the bottom rung. They need a good 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes to brown up. Reset that. Okay, and then I learned something this week that I did not know. I learned something about cabbage. That cabbage, it does, and there was no specification on what kind of cabbage. But I learned from Shirley Corriher, the author of Cookwise and Bakewise and Kitchen Wise. I bought the Kitchen Wise book this week, and I've been reading on it, improving uh, my knowledge of cooking science. And in there, Shirley says that cabbage, if it's cooked longer, like longer than about 4 minutes, it starts, uh, there's a sulfur hydrogen compound or something that it starts making that makes it smell funny and makes it off-putting. So that so when we go to make cabbage, when we go to cook our cabbage, we don't need to be cooking it for a long period of time. We should only be cooking it up to about 4 minutes, and for it to maintain its good flavor. It wasn't about nutrients, maintaining a nutrient, level or anything like that. It was just about maintaining its flavor so that it doesn't make any off putting compounds. So I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to try that. So I'm going to try to make barbecue cabbage, which I have done before. Lindsay Nixon, the happy herbivore, did it years and years ago. I picked it up off of her, and I think she did it pretty quick in the skillet. And I think that when I do it, I'll admit I try to throw the onions in with the cabbage, and the onions take longer than the cabbage. So I think I've been overcooking my cabbage all these years. Of course, I have it smothered in barbecue sauce, so I don't think I've really even noticed because we were still eating it. But I'm gonna try doing better tonight, and I'm going to make barbecue cabbage a better way. There we go. Diane says, when we make cabbage, we always make it really wilty, long past 4 minutes. My husband's family calls it stinky shrinky. Yeah. And when I roast cabbage, I roast it for like 20, 25 minutes in the oven. So apparently, according to Shirley there, I'm overcooking it. I mean, I'm still here. We're still alive. We made it. Ooh, those are really dry. I'm going to skip that. Those are just a little too tired. Okay, now, so let's see how fast, starting right now, let's count this off, and let's see how quick I can pull together barbecue cabbage sandwiches with some onion, because I like onion with my barbecue, and see how fast we can pull this together. And maybe we can make this recipe qualify for something that we would make when we have a head of cabbage and we have a bottle of barbecue sauce and we have a little tired onion that needs to be eaten, and we just so happen to have some fresh bread on hand, and we want something good to eat for dinner, but we want to hurry up and get on the couch and relax. Okay, so what time is it? It's 20. All right, we're at the 28-minute mark, so let's start there. That's where I'll start editing the video. All right. Oop, the oven's hot. Oh, I didn't set the timer. Let's set that timer. So help me. All right, I'm turning on the skillet. My oven light back here has gone out, so I don't have as much power back here. Hang on. We're going to go to the oven, the stove top. Boom. Go like that. I'll set you up. And grab this so I can see you talking if you have a question. A question. Okay. All right. All right, look at the pan. Look at the pan for just a second. Boom. And move the other camera. Boom. Okay. Oh, just a second. Let me get closer here. Okay. Am I in the middle? Let's see. That works. Ooh. Ed, oh, hold on. Edit. Me right there. Hold on. I'm back. Okay, there we go. Now we're good. Okay, I'm heating up the pan. Let's throw the onion on and let's get that going. Get that. I'm just gonna, just until it softens. Can y'all see that well enough? Oh, the light's still good. Yay. Okay, and then where's the cabbage? Buh. And this is a new bottle, so I bet there is this bit. There we go. I bet there's a cover on this. There is. Thank goodness. Y'all, one time I was at this happened probably by a couple of years ago. We went to the grocery store and to buy it was summertime and we went to buy some vegan ice cream and we got home and y'all somebody had pulled back the cover and scraped their finger, or I hope their finger, they scraped across and they dipped into the ice cream. I was totally grossed out. I'd never had, I'd never, we had heard of that happening at the time. It was like something that was going on. And we had, uh, I thought maybe, I couldn't believe that it was real that people would have such audacity to do such a thing. Unmitigated gall. Um, and there we had ice cream. Violated. Violated ice cream. It's terrible. Okay. Okay, I need to cut up this cabbage. I'm going to cut up just enough. Cabbage doesn't really shrink. I love how cabbage is one of those things that grows as you cut it. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all get that too? Like you think, oh, um, like this. This isn't that much. It's just probably about 2.5 inches off to the side. But as I start cutting into this, it's gonna like start growing on me. Oh, I gotta tell you something else I did the other day. I did this. Let's see, I'm on day 2 now. Um, I was messing with the bread dough and feeding my starter, and I was busy, making dough and feeding starter, and I wasn't paying attention. I had starter just on my hands and flour all over me and everything, and my eye started itching, and I went to scratch my eye, and I touched my eyeball, and I had starter on my hands. I touched my eyeball, and now I have like my eye's angry. I won't say I have pink eye. I don't have pink eye. I don't know what that, but I got starter in my eye, and my eye is mad about it. Don't do that. It hurts. Makes your eye very angry. I got some. I had to go to the store yesterday and pick up some eye drops that had some astringent in it, had boric acid in it, and I started putting that in my eyes to kill the cooties, which hurts. Boric acid, that hurts. That stings a lot. See, it's growing. Look at that. It's becoming really large. This is that point where you're like, oh no, what have I done? And then last night, Charlie and I have been watching Ted Lasso. We just watched it for the second time and finished it last night. And I love that show. Such a sweet show. And it was the last 2 episodes, and the last episode was like a big old tearjerker. And I did enough crying. I think I helped my eye. I think I helped wash my eyeball out. Because when I went to bed, my eye didn't hurt near as bad as it had hurt all day long. Have you ever done that? Have like your eyes sick and then you have a good cry and then it goes away? Okay. Okay, the next thing that I think I'm going to do to I've got, let's see, I've got a medium high heat. I don't want to overcook the cabbage. I also need to heat the barbecue sauce. So let's start with a 1 minute fry of this just to get it warm. Okay. I'm really going to pay attention. No talking, Joe. Okay, let's really see what happens. Oh, you fell. Oh, what happened? Don't die. Oh no, I need the foam. Hold on. Doctor, nurse, I need the foam. Okay. Hold on, just a second. Look up. Look up to the ceiling. Okay, just a second. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, now look down. Okay, how's that feel? There we go. All right, now I'm back. Boom. Okay. All right, we're warming this up. 1 minute. One minute. Dun, 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 dun. I guess well, do I salt it? To salt or not to salt? That is the question. Maybe just a little. Just a little. Oh, can I pepper it? Let's pepper it. I love pepper. Just a little pre-peppering. Okay. Patience. Patience. Hey, you fell out. Starting to sweat. I'll pull you in close. There you go. Front and center, baby. Getting some sweating. That salt helped. Okay, has it been a minute? Okay, now we got to heat up the broccoli. Heat up the broccoli. Heat up the barbecue sauce. Wow! I don't know how much to go. I'm just coating the barbecue. Yeah. And now I'm going to turn the heat down. It's getting too hot. I don't want to burn anything. Taking it down to medium. Ooh. Ooh, the vinegar in the barbecue sauce is burning off. Oh, I want some more barbecue. I want that juicier. Okay, that's good. Yummy. I got 6 minutes left on the onion rings. Oh gosh, that looks good. Okay, has it been 4 minutes? How long has it been? Okay, now let's go let's say 2 minutes. Let's say, yeah, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Go. Okay, I set the timer for 2 minutes. I hope that's not too long. I'm in a time warp. Somebody just saying, let's do the time warp again. I heard you. Yummy, yummy. Oh. Soon as the timer goes off, I'm taking it off the heat. Yum, yum, yum. Cabbage cam. Okay, and then the buns. And I need to get the ketchup out for the onion rings. Oh, I wish I had some chow chow. Does anybody know how to make chow chow? Do y'all have a chow chow recipe? If you do have a chow chow recipe that your mama made, or your grandma, or your aunt, I want it. I want to make chow chow, but I don't want to do it from a cookbook. I want to do it from a grandma recipe. 25 seconds. If you have one, if you have a chow chow, any kind of relish, pepper jelly. I have a green tomato and onion, but it's far too early in the season for that. We'll have to wait for the like fall to make that one, to make it with real green tomatoes. But if there's anything that has like a cabbage relish, oh, then please email it to me. Okay, that's it. Timer off, and cabbage off the heat. Here we go. Ooh, boom. That looks good. It smells good. It doesn't smell like a fart. It smells like barbecue. It looks pretty crunchy, but I cut it pretty thin. Yum. Gosh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that barbecue sauce getting purpley. Oh my gosh. Yum. Okay, 3 minutes on the onion rings. I need to find some Pyrex to pull this out of the pan. Y'all wish you were here, don't you? Don't you wish you were eating barbecue like me? Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna keep that right there. Let's move. I'm gonna move you over here to the counter. Let's blah, 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 cut up. I can't talk. Let's cut open some buns, hun. Okay, look at my buns. Keep your eyes on my buns. Are you looking at my buns? Turn up the TV so somebody can hear what you're watching. Okay. Boom. I got a lot of bread. Ooh. Diane says Cookpad has a grandma's chow chow recipe. I have never heard of it. I've never heard of Cookpad. Okay. Wow. 2 minutes. Okay. Over here. Dun dun dun. Bread knife. That's the one. Okay, here we go. Look how beautiful and tender. Has anybody ever used a electric knife to cut bread? Or do you just use a traditional bread knife? I'm curious. Oh, look at that. Just so gorgeous. I'll confess, something making making all this bread. I realized I realized just a couple of days ago, Charlie and I, even Max, we've all gotten into this habit of coming over to any of these containers on the counter. Like sometimes this container is full of focaccia, and then we've got the white bread here. So I'm maintaining a white bread for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and then I've got the focaccia, for something savory when we get some pasta going. Um, but here's what I find myself doing is I'll come and get a slice of this bread, either one of those breads, and I cut off a big old piece and then I just walk off and I eat it. And I was noshing on the white bread yesterday or the day before, and I was like, what is it about this bread? Like, it's so different. It's so different than eating bread from the grocery store. Like store bought bread, no. I would never in a million years think, I feel like eating some bread and just reach my hand down into a bag of store bought bread and eat a slice of bread as a snack. I would never, never, ever have I ever. But this experience, having the home cooked stuff and having like being able to reach in here and, just grab a heel. This has the same density and tenderness as like eating banana bread. And that's when it was like it hit me. I'm like, oh, that's why we're addicted. That's why we love it. So it's got the same wonderful chew as if I'd made a banana bread, same density. It just doesn't have any fruit. There's no sugar in it. It's just flour, salt, plant-based butter, around it and a little in it, and salt on the top and water. That's it. But the chew and the satisfaction and the fill that it's providing is the same as if I were eating banana bread. Okay, okay. Onion rings are ready. So help me, so help me. Off, off. Okay, let's make some buns, baby. Oh, I need to throw Max just jumped in the shower. So I'm going to leave his bun out. Let me drop mine into the oven real quick. Hold on. I need to warm this up. One more minute of chatter. Hold on. Another minute to chit chat. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, back here. I'm finding the answer. Okay, Lynn says I've tried, but I think the regular bread knife is much better. Thank you. Tran bread knife? What is that, Jill? What is a Tran bread knife? Diane says bread knives work the best. Electric knives just take up storage space. Thank you. See, I was almost falling for it. I was watching how people were using an electric knife to cut their sourdough loaves. And I was there, I was looking it up. I was checking Target for prices. I was looking on Amazon. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask the girls. I'm going to see what they say. Diane says, I'm with you. I'm picking up a piece of bread. Store bought is just terrible. It is not the same. I'm tickled that that I've allowed myself to go on this bread journey. I don't know if that might sound weird. I don't know. Um, or maybe you just totally get it. Allowing myself to enjoy food, processed foods, but going back to making things from scratch. Um, Not that the plant-based world, not I don't want to go there, but I just told myself some stories. I've told myself some stories that have held me back, and I've told myself I can't do this and I can't do that, and that doesn't line up, and this doesn't line up, blah 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 blah. So I'm really tickled that I've allowed myself to just enjoy the journey of baking bread and to be and then to discover like all this yumminess to it and discovering that it's like making bread once now that I'm like over the like I've done it enough now that I'm understanding better every time, like the whole maintaining the ecosystem of the sourdough starter, uh, when to feed it, when not to feed it, understanding what's actually going on instead of just like being left to the like some routine that was written out for me. I mean, like the more I do it, the better it gets. And then to like every dough is different. The day will be different. I can go on a I can go on a run where I'm like, ooh, this is working. It looks like something that belongs in a cookbook. And then like there's been plenty of loaves that don't belong in a cookbook at all. They look terrible. They look flat. They look like mistakes, but they still end up tasting great, and we still end up eating them. Like that's been fun, and to just I feel like I'm discovering food all over again, and it's fun. I'm having fun exploring again, and that's pretty cool. And it's really nice that it doesn't cost much. Like flour costs nothing compared to most things in life. It's so much it's within my budget to play with different flours, and the grocery store that I shop at has the main brands, has the big brands, has the fashionable brands, they have the international brands, and then their own brand, the store brand of bread flours are like very reasonable, and I've been using those. And so like there's nothing like stopping me from just enjoying myself and enjoying this experience. And so it's really nice. It's nice to be in this zone of life, this little wave of being able to enjoy something just for what it is. So and it to be really good. Is that maybe I'm too easily entertained. I don't know, but I'm just sharing. That it's pretty cool. Hot, 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 hot. Okay, you see me? I just grabbed that right out of the oven. Okay, I'm using the bun that almost got too burned. That's it. Letting go of all the shooting all over ourselves. Yes, shooting. I've been shooting for. It's been hard. Doesn't it? That moment. I can't even finish a sentence. Uh, that moment. Over and over again, realizing that I've been the one making myself so uptight. I'm the one. I'm the one telling myself I can and cannot do certain things. That I can't enjoy something a certain way for fear of, you know, not being accepted. And that's tiring and exhausting. Um, and it's nice to let myself off the hook. It feels real good to let myself off the hook and just go with a go with an idea and be okay with it. Mm. Okay, all right, let's get the cabbage out. Dun, 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 get this beautiful cabbage. Oh, hello, Bun. Would you like some cabbage? Yes, yes, please. Oh, I think I need a better spoon. Looks like it's softened. Doesn't smell farty. Mm, this is going to be so messy. I am going to have to take off this white shirt, my white sweatshirt. Oh my gosh, look at the hat. I wish I had some chow chow. I want chow chow on top of that. Oh my gosh, it looks so pretty. Wait, it's a little lopsided, isn't it? I see it like that. I'm not even sure I can get all that in my mouth. I'm going to try though. What? Look at that. Oh, look at that. That would have been all over my shirt. Oh my gosh, look at that. Amazing. Amazing sandwich. Yum. Okay, let's put this over here. Back over here on the stove. And then I need some hands to wash. I need to wash my hands. Okay. And then that's hot. And then I got some tater tots. Sorry. I left you out in the cold there. And then let's throw some onion rings. Not tater tots, onion rings. I like my onion rings crunchy. I'll save that one for Max. Oh, and one of those right there. There you go. 4. That's good enough for me. Look at that. Yay! Max can eat all the rest because he is 25 and he can burn off an onion ring much faster than I can. I just want to taste the onion rings. I don't want to wear them. I will wear the cabbage. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. This looks like it would make a good Halloween sandwich. Take those dough covered fingers and hit that like button. Oh yeah. That's nice. Okay, that's it. Hey, come back over. That's dinner. That's it. I hope I have inspired you. I hope you have some cabbage in your fridge and give the cooked cabbage in 4 minutes or less and see what you think about that. Um, Tell me if you notice any difference. It doesn't smell. My kitchen does not smell like cabbage. I think that's interesting. Um, I don't know how this is going to taste. Hold on. I don't want to. This is like the one piece of clothing and this shirt that I own. Maybe these pants that do not have paint on them. So if I get barbecue on them, I'll be like, there goes that record. I took my glasses off so I can't read. Mmm. Oh, that bread is good. Mmm. I can taste the salt that I put on the cabbage. Mmm. 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 Okay. Oh, I know what I taste. I taste there's salt on the bun too. Okay, I put salt on the bun before I baked it. So I got the salt on the bun. That's what I'm tasting with the cabbage. This is good. This is really good. Okay, that's not going to be a recipe because that's too simple. But you saw it. You can figure it out. Okay. I'm going to go eat this privately and let it just get all over me like a toddler. Thank you all for being here tonight and hanging out with me. Uh, Again, if you have any chow chow recipes from your mother, your grandmother, your great grandmother, whatever, real, pass them this way. I want to read them. Don't even worry about them having like, I can't imagine. It's all vinegar and sugar. Don't worry about all the ingredients. Just show it to me. I want to read the process and I want to read the ratios. Yes. Elaine, thank you. I love you too. Oh, that's cool. Diane says, my husband is a hunter and fisherman, but still eats all the vegan foods I make. That's sweet. Nice. Thank you. All right. Okay, I'm out of here. Y'all have fun. Thank you for being here. I'll see y'all next week.